Every year, the Earth makes one trip around the Sun, completing a circuit that our species has been undertaking for as long as we've been alive. But when humans started keeping time, it wasn't easy. There was no atomic clock or smartphone to tell the time. So early civilizations looked up to the celestial sphere for clues. And in some cases, their conclusions were uncannily accurate. Today, we look back at 5 ancient astronomical sites that scientists can't stop scratching their heads over. Number 5. Nabta Playa, Egypt. What is now the Sahara Desert wasn't always such a barren landscape. About 10,000 years ago, this area saw more rain and hosted a number of human settlements. One of them was located at a place called Nabta Playa, which was home to about 40 megalithic stone structures that were erected between 4000 and 2000 BCE. It's not clear what these structures were used for, but excavations have revealed that they may have served as burial chambers. But there's evidence that they had another use as well. Archaeologists have found several alignments between the standing stones and certain stars. For example, there's the North Star alignment, where 3 stones are aligned with Polaris, the North Star, and 2 others mark the point directly south of the North Star. Then there's the Sirius alignment, which features 2 rocks that line up with the brightest star in the sky, Sirius. There's also an interesting group of 6 stones known as the hexagon. Some scholars believe these formations represent the Big Dipper constellation, while others think they signify the phases of the moon. While astronomers try to decode the mysteries of Nabta Playa, its builders remain unknown. According to tradition, the oldest civilization to call the area home was the Kingdom of Kush, but recent research suggests that Kush may have migrated to the region from elsewhere in Africa. If true, this would mean that the creators of Nabta Playa remain unidentified. Next up, let's travel to South America for number 4, Chanquillo, Peru. Sitting high atop a ridge overlooking the valleys below, the Chanquillo site consists of 13 stone pillars arranged in a straight line. This construction dates back about 2,000 years and may have served as an astronomical observatory or perhaps even an early warning system. See, unlike most other ancient observatories, Chanquillo isn't associated with a temple or a city. It stands alone. But that doesn't mean it was abandoned. Between 200 BCE and 600 CE, people came here regularly, lighting ceremonial fires between the pillars to communicate with their ancestors or perhaps gods. Scholars aren't sure exactly what Chanquillo's purpose was, but they do know that its alignments were incredibly accurate. When the sun reached its highest point at noon, its rays passed through the central pillar, casting a shadow on the east-facing pillar that told the observer the exact date. In fact, Chanquillo is the only known site in the Americas where ancient architects managed to incorporate the phenomenon known as the solar standstill into their design. During the summer solstice, the sun appears to freeze in the sky for a few moments before starting its slow descent. And Chanquillo's architects knew exactly how to capitalize on it. By using the center pillar as a gnomon, they could measure the exact length of a shadow cast by the east pillar, which helped them keep track of time throughout the year. Researchers have even noted alignments between Chanquillo and several bright stars, leading some to believe that the site may have been used for ceremonial purposes as well. To date, archaeologists haven't uncovered any artifacts that can help them determine who built Chanquillo or why, but that hasn't stopped researchers from hailing it as one of the most important archaeological discoveries ever made in Peru. But it's hard to say whether even Chanquillo is as mystifying as the next entry on our list. Number 3. The Goseck Circle, Germany. Dating back 7,000 years, the Goseck Circle is Europe's oldest known stone circle. This monument consists of 130 pits in a circular pattern, each of which once held a wooden post. Archaeologists have discovered clear signs that the posts were planted during the late Neolithic period and that they remained in place for almost 2,000 years. In fact, the only reason we don't have them today is because they were chopped down. Sometime around 4900 BCE, whoever constructed the Goseck Circle seems to have gotten bored of it. But they didn't destroy the whole thing. They simply removed the posts and left the holes. So what exactly were these posts used for? We can thank modern technology for helping us answer that question. See, nobody really paid much attention to the Gosek Circle until the late 1990s, when archaeologists started using new techniques to study the site. Ground-penetrating radar and magnetic resonance techniques revealed clear signs that each pit once housed a wooden stake. And when experts reconstructed the structure, they noticed something strange. During the winter solstice, the rising sun lines up perfectly with the center of the circle. On the summer solstice, the opposite side of the circle is illuminated. Then there's the equinoxes, which see the first rays of dawn entering the circle through a gap between two posts. That's not all, either. Scholars have also found evidence suggesting that the Gosek Circle was aligned with the Pleiades star cluster. At first, researchers believed that this was just a coincidence, but further investigation showed that the posts were specifically placed to match the rising and setting points of the Pleiades. Whoever built the Gosek Circle clearly had an impressive understanding of astronomy, but we may never know for sure who they were or what they did. According to legend, it was the legendary King Dido who built the structure, but experts dismiss this story as mythology. Instead, they think that the Gosek Circle was likely built by members of the Michels-Neukirchen culture, an early European culture that thrived between 5300 and 4800 BC. At number 2, we have a site that was used for thousands of years. Number 2, the Temple of Hathor, Dendera. The Temple of Hathor in Dendera, Egypt was constructed in honor of the goddess Hathor, who represented love, beauty, and music. Construction on the temple began under Ptolemy II in 296 BCE, but it wasn't finished for another 150 years. The temple went on to be used for religious ceremonies for nearly 1,000 years. It wasn't abandoned until the 4th century CE. Unlike many other Egyptian temples, it wasn't looted or destroyed. Instead, it was gradually buried by silt. In 1824, it was rediscovered and excavation work soon began. Since then, scholars have done their best to restore it. But when they looked closely, they couldn't help but notice something strange. The ceiling of the sanctuary contained intricate paintings of various deities. But one particular painting caught their eye. A detailed rendering of the sun god Ra bearing his soul for judgment, surrounded by depictions of the 36 deacons. Deacons were groups of stars that the Egyptians used to keep track of time, and scholars believe that there was a total of 36 of them. As such, the ceiling at Dendera may have been used as a sort of calendar or timetable. But there's more to the picture than meets the eye. See, the Egyptians didn't think of the zodiac in the same way that we do. In fact, they thought the ecliptic divided the sky into 36 sections, not 12. Each section was marked by a different group of stars, and each group ruled over the earth for 10 days straight. But sometime after the ceiling was painted, the number of deacons changed. As you probably already know, the Greeks took the Egyptian system of 36 deacons and condensed it into 12. Today, we follow the Greek system, but who made the change, we may never know. But it's possible that the Egyptians themselves altered their system when they decided to adopt Greek astrology. And speaking of Greece, our number 1 pick takes us to a place that's practically next door. Number 1, Stonehenge, England. When people think of ancient astronomical sites, there's a good chance that Stonehenge springs to mind. After all, this is one of the world's most famous prehistoric monuments. Made of roughly hewn stones weighing up to 50 tons, Stonehenge was constructed sometime around 3000 BCE. Unfortunately, very little is known about its history. We don't know who built it, why they built it, and we don't know what happened to its builders. What we do know is that the stone structure went through several transformations over the course of centuries. Over time, Stonehenge went from a series of timber posts to a ring of standing stones to a structure with both inner and outer rings of stones. And it wasn't finished until sometime around 1500 BCE. That's more than 1,000 years after construction began. But what does any of this have to do with astronomy? Well, when archaeologists started excavating the site, they soon realized that Stonehenge's builders were quite interested in the sky. The first thing they noticed was an alignment between the heel stone and the midsummer sunrise. From the perspective of someone standing in the center of Stonehenge, the heel stone marks the exact spot where the sun rises on the summer solstice. Then there's the winter solstice sunrise alignment, which features an S-shaped path. During the winter solstice, the sun rises along a slightly different path than usual, and Stonehenge's architects designed the heel stone and several other large stones to match this rare trajectory. But that's not all. It's been suggested that Stonehenge was also used as an ancient observatory. It's believed that the lintels that sit atop the trilithons were originally used to observe lunar standstills. Twice a year, the moon appears to stop in the sky before changing direction. This strange phenomenon is called the lunar standstill, and it happens due to the tilt of the moon and the Earth's orbit. The lunar standstill is almost exactly 18 hours long, which is equal to the duration of a single Saros cycle. As such, Stonehenge could have been used to accurately predict lunar eclipses. There are plenty of other theories, too. Some scholars claim that Stonehenge was used as a burial ground, while others think it served as a kind of calendar. But what do you think? Why did ancient builders construct these sites? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.